When we start personal and business design sessions, the first thing we're working on is how to reframe a problem. Problems sometimes tend to look overwhelming, and many times we don't even know where to start. Other times we think we know what the problem is, but if we dig deep down, we realize that there's another issue there causing the whole thing. We reframe a problem by following 6 simple steps. Step number 1. Write it down on a piece of paper. Let's say for this example, the problem would be I'm stressed at work. Step number 2. Write it down as a design question. Design questions always start with how might we or how might I, and we use the word might because instead of the words could or should, might is more open to discussions and to future options. The words could and should are imperative, and you don't want to restrict yourself. You might do something, but during the process you might realize that there's something else that you could do that works better. So your design question becomes, how might I reduce stress at work? Step number 3. Define the person you're solving for. Is it only you? Or is there someone else included? In this example, I might be stressed because of my manager. Step number 4. Write down the context in which this problem arises. For instance, my manager is loading with projects and I've got too much to do. Step number 5, and that's an important one. Write down the impact you're trying to have. Write down what you want to achieve. In this example, you're trying to be more productive, but because of stress, you cannot. So the impact is be more productive. Step number 6. Reframe the problem into a design question by adding up all the previous steps. But before we go to that, we need to look at one last thing. When you have another person in the equation, you always need to look at things from their perspective as well. Otherwise, it will be incredibly difficult to find a solution. In this example, your problem is stress, but your manager's problem might be, let's say, the deadlines. If you want to find a solution, you have to take into account his deadlines problem too, and you have to find a common objective. This is where your solution will be, and in that case, it's your productivity. So reframing the initial problem of I'm stressed into a design question by adding all the previous steps, we'll have something like, how might I help my manager prioritize my tasks in order to be less stressed and more productive? By reframing problems into design questions, you achieve 3 key things. The first is that you reshape the problem into a discussion with yourself. The second is that you create actionable items within the question, which leads us to the third one, and that is that you know where to start from. It's not like this massive, overwhelming problem, and that is how we reframe problems during the Design Thyself sessions. So what's the problem you would like to reframe?